Hello once again, race fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour on the Grueling Truth, where legends speak. Once again, I'm Alex Gray, along here with Michael Klein, discussing the Week 2 of the 2021 season, all three major circuits going back to Daytona for the road course, as well as some other bits and pieces of news throughout the week. We can go ahead and dive right on in and talk about the last weekend's races if you want.
Yeah, definitely a great weekend of racing. Got to see Ben Rhodes continue his hot streak, 2 for 2 on the year.
Yeah, how about that? Ben Rhodes off to arguably the best start of his career now, winning both back-to-back at Daytona, the Oval, and the road course. He's definitely conquered that track, and obviously you have to start to wonder, even though we're 2 races in, is Rhodes a possible championship favorite?
You definitely have to think that at this point. I mean, he's been getting better as the years go, so yeah. I think it's definitely looking like his best year.
We could see a possible breakout year for sure. And then moving into the Xfinity race, probably one of the biggest headliners from this past weekend. Joe Gibbs' grandson, Ty Gibbs, makes his first career Xfinity start. He had no practice, no qualifying, no previous experience in any of the 3 major circuits, hasn't made a truck start, wins Stage 2, and he wins the race. An incredible performance. I think he becomes like the 6th driver to do it, to win in his first Xfinity start, but the first driver to actually, not previously run a Cup race and get his first Xfinity win in his first start. A phenomenal performance. Is Ty Gibbs a potential superstar in the making?
Yeah, Ty Gibbs is honestly definitely the next big thing in NASCAR, if you ask me. I've gotten to hang out with him a little bit over the past couple of years working in ARCA. Done a bunch of iRacing with him. Seems like a really nice kid. He actually comes from a really good family. So seeing him have the success right off the bat is incredible to watch. And you could even see how much it meant to him after the race in his interview. Racing is everything to the Gibbs. And to have the success right off the bat is definitely special to watch.
It really is something special to watch. I mean, I was sitting there absolutely amazed. I remember, I go back to June of 2019. I went to the ARCA race at Gateway in St. Louis. And I saw Ty Gibbs make that incredible last lap pass on Sam Mayer to get the win. And I remember the crowd going ballistic because obviously, it's Joe Gibbs' grandson, and Ty Gibbs was just absolutely hyped up, celebrating. I'm like, this is so cool. Get to see Joe Gibbs' grandson get his first ARCA win. I'm curious to see how his career progresses. And now, he wins an Xfinity race, and now he's got several more Xfinity races planned this season. So perhaps maybe we could see another win or 2 out of him as 2021 progresses on.
Yeah, and also just want to congratulate Christopher Bell on getting his first Cup Series win this past weekend. Growing up around the same type of racing with him and getting the chance to race with him a few times, he's definitely a really good dude and deserves everything he's gotten. Because here's a kid who didn't come from money. He was found solely on his talent, and he has shown every step of the way that he has what it takes. And seeing him finally get that first Cup win is also really incredible to watch. So definitely got to congratulate him on getting that win.
Absolutely. His second race, too, in a Joe Gibbs car as well. I was very impressed with him. And not to mention, here's a fun little statistic that I learned. So 2021, we start off with 2 first-time winners. This has only happened 2 other times in the Cup Series, 1949 and 1950, the first 2 years of NASCAR's existence.
Yeah, so can you even count the first one, honestly?
Yeah. I mean, that was the first year, so obviously there will be a first-time winner for most races.
Oh, right. And I guess, technically speaking, guy who won the first one could have always gone out and won the second one, so.
Yeah. But it's just shaping up already to be a rather interesting season. Michael McDowell winning the 500, Christopher Bell winning the road course. I don't think a lot of people expected those two names to be winners already, or even winners in 2021. I had Christopher Bell getting his first career win at some point. So he's got that win. That pressure's off because now he's locked into the playoffs. And so I'm curious to see how that 20 team is going to do for the remainder of the season, because that team's always been like the fourth-ranked team at JGR in the past few years. Back in 2019, good prime example, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. all made the championship four. Eric Jones had a great year, got a win, but obviously he wasn't on as same of the scale as the other three. And not a knock on Jones at all. He's got a lot of talent, a great driver, and I think he can really push that 43 to some really good results this season.
Yeah, certainly. He definitely has the potential to be the best driver of the 20 car since Matt Kenseth, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could definitely see that car get back to where it was with Matt Kenseth or Tony Stewart.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a little recap to tie it in the bow from this past weekend. We do have some bits and pieces of news. First off, Spire Motorsports. Their current crew chief for the number 7, Ryan Sparks, due to COVID-19 protocols, is going to be unavailable to participate this coming Sunday's Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead. And additionally, 2 members of the team will be inactive this weekend in adherence to the same directives. Steve Letarte, former crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr., NBC Sports analyst, and Spire Motorsports consultant, will call the race in Sparks' absence for the team, and he will be the crew chief for Corey LaJoie this weekend.
That was definitely a shocker.
Yeah, I mean, still really cool to see Letarte back on the pit box. It just brings me back to, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s seasons from 2011 to 2015 when, or I should say 2014, when Letarte was his crew chief and when Jr. had that, pretty much that kind of resurgence that he much needed because he and Letarte just worked so well together. So we got our first dirt ringer that's going to be running the Cup event at the Bristol Dirt Race. Big Daddy Chris Wyndham. Big Daddy, yes. Chris Wyndham's going to make his Cup debut at the Bristol Dirt Race. He'll drive the number 15 NOS Energy Drink Chevrolet for Rick Ware Racing.
Definitely interested to see what he can do with that. I mean, obviously he's one of the best dirt racers out there right now. So, honestly, I could see him maybe getting a top 15 or even a top 10 out of that.
Yeah. I think he can really push that car to a really good result. Obviously, with his dirt talents, it's going to be fun to see him compete with the likes of Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, and all those other familiar names, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Alex Bowman. I'm really interested to see, and this was something I was hoping to see when they announced the Bristol Dirt Race was, were we going to see those dirt ringers perhaps attempt these races?
Yeah, and I can tell you this right now, he's going to be taking no shit on track there. I've gotten to race with him a few times, and he almost sent me flipping at the Shamrock Classic. He's a guy who, he sees a gap. He doesn't care how small it is or how fast it's closing. He's going to go for it. So he's definitely going to be a fun one to watch there.
Yeah, and not to mention, there will be heat races, by the way, for the Bristol Dirt Race. Bob Pockris did state that lineups for heat races will be done by draw, and then the 15-lap heat races, there'll be 4 for each in Trucks and Cup. We'll set the main event lineups for Bristol. The exact format will be announced sometime next week.
Man, I really want to go.
Yeah, same. Unfortunately, tickets were sold out before you and I could get the chance to land a ticket.
Yeah. Maybe we can try to get to the Outlaw race there.
Yeah. Outlaw race taking place in April at Bristol on the dirt, of course.
Yeah. Also, just to kind of go along with that, also announced yesterday, Kyle Busch will be driving Longhorn chassis for Jonathan Davenport for the World of Outlaw Morton Buildings Bristol Bash, being held a couple weeks before the Cup race.
Okay, yeah, I saw something like that the other day.
Yeah. It was kind of surprising to see because every time he's got behind the wheel of a dirt late model, it's usually been some sort of relationship with Bloomquist, and now he's basically going with Bloomquist's main current rival, Jonathan Davenport. Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen this, but they've actually had some dirt late models testing on there, and those guys are going flat out around the whole track. It's pretty incredible to watch.
Huh. Oh, that is interesting. Heading on to the next bit of news, this morning it actually got announced that DoorDash signed a multi-year deal to become an official partner of NASCAR. In terms of the deal not being revealed, but DoorDash does become the official on-demand delivery platform in NASCAR. I think this is a terrific move, considering the fact that companies like DoorDash are thriving right now with the current world situation. So obviously it's great that they're continuing their support with not just Bubba Wallace, but also the entire support of NASCAR as well.
Jesus. Scrolling through Twitter here, get a load of this idiot. No, Jimmy Johnson or any driver isn't an athlete. Is he in shape? Sure. Athlete? No way. Is he athletic? Okay, sure. But being a professional driver isn't an athlete. The sport itself requires what exactly? To know your car, withstand heat, which is actually athletics. I don't know what the hell he's talking about with that. And what? LOL.
Huh. Because, yeah.
Get ratioed.
Yeah, we were talking
about... Oh, he's getting ratioed.
We were talking about the Donovan McNabb video from, I guess, years ago when he actually came out and said, it was shared among the NASCAR Twitter world yesterday, but McNabb basically stating that Jimmy Johnson was not an athlete, which is absolutely false. Not to mention how much of a fit guy that Jimmy Johnson does. I mean, he rides bikes. He participated in marathons. Not only that, he's like, you're just getting in the car and driving. That's absolutely false. And I'm pretty confident, even you're a racer yourself, and I'm pretty sure you can debunk that within less than 15 seconds.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be physically, mentally fit. You have to make split-second decisions. It's not like you're jumping in a car and you're driving down the road going, 35, or for most people in Cincinnati on the interstate going 90 in a 65 because that's what people do. And there's
Dylan Black Mamba Smith is challenging him to a race at GoPro.
Exactly.
We need to get that guy on here at some point.
Who would that be?
Dylan Smith, Black Mamba.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure out what other bits of news I was gonna discuss.
Just announced this morning, Alex Bowman Racing announced his schedule for the 2021 season, which for those who don't know, he owns a midget and 410 sprint car team now with CJ Leary as a driver. Looks like they'll be hitting 10 World of Outlaw events, 6 or so other events with the All-Star Circuit of Champions or just unsanctioned events. And also announced here, they will be running 4 asphalt midget events at Lucas Oil Raceway or Indianapolis Raceway Park with Josh Wise as the driver.
Yeah, how about that? We haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of NASCAR fans don't know this, but Josh Wise was an incredible USAC racer before he came to NASCAR. I think he has a few championships to his name. I don't think he's really won any of these since he entered NASCAR. So it's definitely awesome to see him coming back to this.
Yeah, he should get Dogecoin as a sponsor just for time's sake. The one time that he sponsored Dogecoin, and because of that, he was voted into the All-Star race. I think it was like 2014 when he got voted into the All-Star race. I remember going, what?
Also, I'm just looking at it right now, and I didn't see this the first time, but Alex Bowman is actually scheduled to drive in several events.
Oh, really?
He's running 2 events at Attica Raceway Park and 2 events at Fremont Speedway.
Okay.
Both of which are up in Ohio. I don't know,
Gotcha.
maybe for All-Star Series Ohio Speed Week.
Okay. Of course, that's like the week where, they had that Indiana race week as well when I went to that first Lawrenceburg race last year as well.
Right.
Huh.
And just to kind of go along with that, just a personal announcement here. I can confirm I will be running 2 midget events at Lucas Oil Raceway and 1 at Anderson Speedway. I can't really go into the announcement yet, too far into it, like the team. That announcement's going to be coming in about a month now, but I can confirm that I will be behind the wheel in those 3 events, at least for next year.
All right, so look out for news there. Michael getting his 2021 season set and ready to go. Obviously, it's great to see you back behind the wheel of a race car again.
Oh yeah, we're so looking forward to it. It's been way too long since I've been behind the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be 2021 is going to be rocking. We're gonna do our best to make it a better year than that 2020, which pretty much felt like, I like to say, it felt like a video game glitch. In 2021,
pretty much
a new patch that they're trying to add onto the game. We're hoping this fixes everything. So anyway, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what other bit of news besides going into Homestead do we have. Although I just had this pop up because for me, obviously, for the memes and for the nostalgia, and not to mention, this place is actually near Sonoma. You're aware of the iconic hill from Windows XP, right? The background picture?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's called Bliss. It's got the grassy hill, the clouds, and the sky in the background. Pretty much the default wallpaper from Windows XP way back then. Well, it's been trending on Twitter. It's like you could still visit the iconic hill from the Windows XP wallpaper, Bliss, and it's actually located very close to Sonoma. It's actually in Sonoma, California itself.
Oh.
Yeah, today the hill is actually covered in vineyard rows, but still, it's actually kind of cool to see compared to, comparing the picture when it was taken back then to now. It's kind of cool. And, of course, during this time of the year, Sonoma is actually green, unlike when NASCAR runs there during the summer and the grass is dead. I've always wondered about the idea of, NASCAR running Sonoma during the West Coast sweep in the spring where it's still green and, and not to mention it's up there with Auto Club and Phoenix and Las Vegas, even though, of course, we're not going to Auto Club this year.
I say do it. I want to see that.
Absolutely. I'd say do it as well. Oh, man. And suddenly now I am seeing this meme going around. You probably just liked Vargas's tweet on it. The little girl from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's crying in the seat. They edited a steering wheel, and they're showing when Vargas wrecked the Daytona. I'm like, what in the world? Where did this come from? But yeah. Besides that, I don't think I have anything else to report on the matter. I think I've pretty much caught up on the news basically for this week.
Yeah, so should we just go into our Homestead predictions?
Yeah, I think we can.
Or actually, I guess something we can announce here. World of Outlaws just released their schedule for the next couple months. Because I'm sure if you guys didn't know, they had to cancel their West Coast swing because of COVID.
Yeah.
So they've announced that they will be going back to Volusia Speedway on March 5th. Followed that up with their first trip to East Bay since the 1980s. And after that, got a bunch of other races around. Kokomo Speedway and Tri-State on April 9th and 10th. So we'll definitely try to get out to that.
Okay. Oh, I guess one thing I could bring up was that we're starting to get more information on, I don't have it in front of me, but more tracks have been selling out in terms of how many people they're allowed into the seats for the races. Las Vegas, I think they're going to have like 10 to 15,000 fans, which is good, as well as some other tracks. So I think, it's nice to see that NASCAR is doing everything they can to see if they can get some sort of amount of fans at the track this season compared to last year. But moving on to the NASCAR Xfinity race at Homestead, Miami. It's kind of weird. It was just a couple of years ago that Homestead was still hosting the season finale. And it's February, and they're going to be hosting a race. But if I had to pick an early favorite, I'm going to go with Harrison Burton. I know he won one of those doubleheader races a season ago, so I think Harrison is definitely going to be a dual threat. I also think Daniel Hemrick will be up there in the running as well.
Yeah, I guess I would probably go with Noah Gragson just because of how he's willing to get right up there against the fence, and that always kind of seems to be where that's where you need to be successful there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of cases of that where some drivers have been really successful at Homestead because they run that high line pretty much up at the wall, essentially. And of course, going into the Cup race, obviously a lot of people are going to have to look towards Kyle Larson as a pick to win this race as well.
Yeah. He's been looking pretty strong in that Hendrick car. I mean, it honestly doesn't seem like he's wasted any time getting back to where he needs to be with the Cup car. And being at a track where you're right up against the fence, that's right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
He's always run well at Homestead, so he's definitely a good guy to go with. But I think, honestly, I'm going to take a bold pick here. I'd say we go 3 for 3 on first-time winners for the year. I'd say Tyler Reddick gets his first win this week.
Ooh, okay. That's true. Tyler Reddick had a very strong run there last year in that number 8.
Got 2 Xfinity wins here, too.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I think he could be a really good dark horse for this race. So, yeah, definitely do not count out Tyler Reddick. He will start 35th on Sunday. So, obviously, he's going to have a little bit of work to do. But, we're out of the way of the Daytona Road Course and the Daytona Oval where a lot can happen. And now I think for a lot of these drivers, and especially the new teams, we're going to start seeing true tests to see what this season is going to look like for some of these guys. For me, Reddick's definitely a good dark horse. I would definitely consider Kyle Larson as a good pick here. I think I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. Won this race a season ago, I believe, and I'm pretty sure he'll be itching for his first win. Hamlin will roll off from the pole, by the way. Some other notable starts.
Yeah, he's good here, and you got to remember, he doesn't have the pressure of a championship now, so he can actually close the deal here.
That is true. With all these years, again, Homestead always hosted the championship week. And now they've changed that over to Phoenix. So it's still kind of weird to see, especially when the green flag drops at 3:30, and it's like, dang, it's not when the sun sets. That's why I always liked, especially how they ran the Homestead Championship finales when the sun set during the race, and it's just kind of like telling you the sun is setting on a season. We're about to crown a champion. But, yeah, and, of course, looking at some notable starts, I'm curious to see how Michael McDowell will do. He rolls off at 6th. Ryan Preece rolling off 8th. He's off to a decent start. And, Ryan Preece needs to put in the best performances he can because that 37 team is an open charter team, so they lose that charter money. And as of right now, I don't think they have the funding to get an entire 36-race season in. So hopefully this will help Ryan Preece out a bit.
Yeah, he's off to a great start for the year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm really impressed by his performances. So I think he's going to be someone to keep an eye on this coming Sunday as well.
Yeah. From what I've been seeing here, honestly, don't be surprised if we get a good 5 or 6 first-time winners this season.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of those guys running real well.
This season could look a lot like 2011 when we had 5 first-time winners. Because, that year we had Trevor Bayne winning the 500. We had David Reagan winning Daytona in the summer. We had Paul Menard winning the Brickyard 400. We had Marcus Ambrose winning at Watkins Glen, and Reagan Smith winning the Southern 500. So I think we could see that this year. And we already got 2. We got McDowell and Bell. And there's a good handful of names who have yet to get their first career win that I'm pretty sure they're going to be wanting here very soon. You got to look at guys like Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, like you mentioned, Chase Briscoe, the rookie. He could potentially win a race as well.
Ryan Preece, honestly.
Yeah, Preece, definitely Preece. Matt DiBenedetto, obviously, and DiBenedetto's going to have to work hard. And some people think that in the select races he'll run, that perhaps Austin Cindric could get his first career Cup win.
Certainly not impossible.
Yeah, the way he ran at the Daytona 500, he's got all the Penske power he needs. And especially if he's going to run on the road courses, he's going to give Chase Elliott a run for his money. So, obviously, it's going to be this season is definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. The schedule shaking up more than ever before. It was only just a few years ago that NASCAR went to 2 road courses in the Cup Series. Now we got 7 road courses. So, man, this is cool, man. We're going to COTA. They actually just announced the names of those races. We're going to Road America in the Cup Series. They're going to try the Indy Road Course. Lots and lots of shakeups this season.
Let's hope we can get rain at least one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see a legitimate NASCAR rain race in the Cup Series.
Yeah, kind of like the Xfinity Roval race last year.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and I think the Cup Series trying to face that on the road course would be pretty entertaining to watch. So with that being said, let's see here. I'm still seeing more of those memes. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting those too.
I still don't know where they came from. Anyhow, well, I don't think I have anything else to report now, unless you had anything else.
I think I've reported everything I needed to.
Alrighty. With that being said, this will be a little bit of a short episode this week. And, of course, we'll be back to talk about the Homestead races and previewing the Las Vegas races when we head out west for the first time this season. That being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition of the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour on the Grueling Truth, where legends speak. From Michael Klein and myself, Alex Gray, we'll see you next time, and we're signing off.